It's Chicago, man. You got to take big swings. How long you want to wait before you get to the playoffs or have someone that could be a Pro Bowler or difference maker on the defense? On that defensive line, there are no difference makers. Zero. I'm watching Super Bowl. I'm enjoying what I saw with the Eagles and Chiefs as far as the two big teams, two well-run teams on the field. The game wasn't great, but the point is, though, in the back of my mind, I'm like, look how these teams are built. And then I think about the Chicago Bears and think about how far away the Bears are from being there. And again, this is with talent. I just think a big swing in free agency works, but I also believe that you can be able to build through the draft as well. You can do both things because the Bears are blessed with enough draft capital, and I think they acquire more, of course, via trade if they wanted to be able to get more draft. But the point is they have enough money, Dionne, to be able to get themselves into the conversation and be able to lock in. Myles Garrett would be awesome.
I don't think they'll pay for it.
I love him, though.
Yeah, I do, too.
I mean, who doesn't?
I do, too. Who doesn't? Right.
Trey Hendrickson or Micah Parsons, who I'm honing in on. If Micah Parsons doesn't want to be at the Cowboys, and if there's going to be something that's available for the Bears to give Micah Parsons, I'm all for it.
Yeah. I would be all for that, too.
Yeah.
I think Hendrickson is more of a reach. I think he'll end up where he is right now. But I don't know that Myles Garrett. I think Myles Garrett's going to demand the most money in this moment. And I just feel like Micah Parsons is a better fit for where the Bears are on and off the field, like the financials and all that stuff. So.
I know you don't see NFL players do this very often. I know for a fact, talking to former and current NFL players, that they wish they had the power and the autonomy to tell a general manager or ownership, I don't want to be here anymore. Mm-hmm. If you're in the NBA, if you're Jimmy Butler as of late or others, like you can just say, I don't want to be here anymore, and I want you to trade me, and here's my list of teams, and trade me to this team. Or I have a no-trade clause. I will stop that no-trade clause if you trade me to this team. I mean, in the NBA, it's the Wild West.
It is.
In the NFL players wish they could be able to do that. Myles Garrett, after talking to LeBron James, of course, Myles Garrett says, you know what? I can't win in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. And I only have so many bumps in my bump card. Meaning I only have so many tackles. I have only so many injuries I can still go through in my life as a football player. I want to win. I need to get out of Cleveland. Mm-hmm. Again, it doesn't happen very often in the NFL, but Garrett clearly saying, yeah, get me out of here.
Right. So, but at what cost? And who's willing to invest in that? You think a lot of teams will?
I mean, it's Myles Garrett. He's a monster.
I know.
I mean, whatever. He still has great football left in him, and just because he wants out doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to go to what's a suitor? Was it the Cowboys? Detroit. Detroit, Green Bay. Detroit is on the top of the list, I would say.
I would think.
Just teams that he wants out, but he wants to increase his chances to win a championship.
Correct. So he's going to limit where he's looking.
Yes.
I doubt the Bears are on that list.
It's too bad.
Well, unless he just likes the curb appeal, as you said.
Right.
Unless he's just into like what it looks like on the outside, the aesthetics.
Yeah,
looks like a great house.
It's a beautiful house on the outside.
You don't know it's a money pit, dude. Watch out. Watch out.
She's someone who sold houses before. In Palatine, here's Nick with us on Cap and J Hood. Nick, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
What's
Thanks
up,
for not
Nick?
going on vacation and being dialed in.
I'm locked in with you, Nick. You and I.
Dionne, I'm on your boat. We're not one player away from winning a championship, or let alone getting into an NFC championship, but we can't keep chasing free agent DNs. Go down the list. Peppers was great, right? But he wasn't in his prime at that time. Khalil Mack, great. We got rid of him. Jared Allen, Robert Quinn, Montez Sweat, Agunlie. Like, you go down the list, it's endless. We have zero homegrown DNs.
Well, but here's the thing, Nick. You can be able to still grow them and also acquire them. It's Chicago, man. You got to take big swings. How long you want to wait before you get to the playoffs or have someone that could be a Pro Bowler or difference maker on that defense? On that defensive line, there are no difference makers. Zero.
Correct. But you look at the Eagles, they got two homegrown defense in the trenches with Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter, who are huge difference makers in 1 year.
You can do both.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think the last homegrown DN we had was Alex Brown, who was a difference maker.
You're right. Mm-hmm. You're right. But what I'm saying is that you are correct. All those names, and some of them had some production, but I know what you mean. Like, how many of them led you to the Super Bowl? I get that. But you still have to try. You have to.
Can we name the last offensive lineman that we got in free agency that was a difference maker?
I got to think about that.
Wow.
Look through the list there.
Oh, jeez.
Look through the list there. It's been a while. Offensive lineman, that was it. There's some guys off the scrap heap that they were able to get, but not a difference maker. No.
I think you keep saying you can do both. I think they need to do both. I think that would be another sign of things are going to be different around here.
Growth.
And like make it different. Do it different. What you're doing has not worked. So I think they have to do both.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me look. You hear it, baby?
Listen to the light tapping of the. Here we go, Dionne.
It's not even 8 a.m. yet, and I am like trying to type fast. So, okay. Now, how do I find this?
We go to Darren in Haywood, Iowa, listening on the ESPN Chicago app. Hello, Darren.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Dionne and Jonathan. But I got a good question.
Do you? We'll see.
Okay. Do you think Dallas Cowboys would go for, we will swap first-round picks, they give out a 10th, we get their first-round pick, for Jalen Johnson, and a second-round pick this year for Micah Parsons, then you get a first and third-round pick next year?
I would say that Jalen Johnson is not expendable for me. You like him too, Darren.
You don't think so?
Well, don't you like Jalen Johnson?
I love Jalen Johnson, but if you can get Micah Parsons in here with, we still got Stevenson, we still got Blackwell, we still got Carla Gordon. I love Jalen Johnson, I really do. But if we can get Micah Parsons and swap first-round picks, but give us Carolina second-round pick and next year's first and third, why not?
I would rather be able to make a deal for Micah Parsons without giving away one of my cornerstone players. I don't want to do one for one, or like Jalen Johnson is the best player. He's the best player on my defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Actually,
I don't think they can afford. I don't mean financially afford. I just think like reality afford to do that.
Yeah, I think the Bears have enough to make the trade without having to give up Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that is correct.
I think so too.
I just can't give away one of my. And again, I'm not saying that the Bears are just flush with talent. What I'm saying is, like, when you're looking for bright spots on this defense, the Jalen Johnson is number one on the team. Quite frankly, Jalen Johnson, because no wide receiver wants to go head up against him. No top flight wide receiver wants to go one-on-one with Jalen Johnson. He's just that good. So as far as offensive linemen, Dionne, you have what's the name?
I'm not finding it. I can't find. See, I'm just so used to putting into Google, like, give me a list of the offensive linemen the Bears have acquired via free agency. I have no idea.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what about
exactly? I'm literally letting myself down.
What about Chat GPT? Did you put it in?
I Google searched it several times. Nothing even AI related came up. However, I did find like historical year-by-year starting lineups for the Bears. And the offensive line, oof. I mean, some of these names.
Even Google thinks the Bears suck.
Yeah, right? even ChatGPT is like, I don't have time. This is too long of a list. I'm not even going there with that one.
Oh, well.
I mean, listen, Bobby Massey, Josh Sitton. Let's see, who else am I looking at? Haranis Grasu. Jermon Bushrod, great guy. Loved Roberto Garza. That was 2014. Jordan Mills.
All right.
That's a bit of a swing and a miss. Gabe Karimi.
Just fade her out.
Heavens.
Just fade her out. That's fine. Just keep
Jamarcus Webb.
Just slow fade.
Holy moly.
When we come back, we will take more of your phone calls. And also, shot or no shot at 8 o'clock. Cap and J Hood, weekday morning, 7